Okay, week 2 of the NFL season wraps up tonight.
Okay, so Ashley Williams is at the barbershop talking all the biggest headlines because it's time for In the Cut.
In the Cut.
We in the cut at Heritage Barbershop just off of Broadway, guys. This is one of my favorite stories of the week. It's a new segment that we started doing last week. What's the concept here, guys? To talk about all things NFL on the Monday after, of course, a big NFL weekend. So a lot happened, as we know. But I do want to shout out my one lone friend, the one woman in the shop wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey. She agreed to not talk on camera. Poor thing. She doesn't want to talk on camera, and I understand why. But I think right now, guys, we're going to start with this Raiders conversation with the Raiders corner right now. Tell me your name.
Hashim.
And getting their haircut?
Phil.
All right, let's get into it. Raiders with the big win, guys, for the first time in 49 games. The Raiders won when trailing by 10 or more in the fourth quarter. Does it feel like the Raiders have turned the corner? Last week, we were concerned about them. Do we feel the same way this week?
I'm not concerned, but I'm not sold either. It was one game. The offense has been pretty stagnant. So I'm happy we won, but I'm not going to claim any Super Bowl trips or anything like that.
Okay, no, I feel like people are a little apprehensive. How do you feel?
I felt the same way. I didn't believe it until the game was over. I was like, they actually pulled this out.
Processing
Yeah.
it, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm going to hop over here because we were just having a big conversation. You are a Raiders fan. Is right? Did I get that correctly?
Absolutely.
How are you feeling, though, after yesterday's game?
Yesterday's game was a great win, a big win for the Raiders. They needed it, especially against Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson did everything he could to make sure that he tried to win that game, but the Raiders still pulled it out.
Let me ask you this question. So, John and Court, this actually is not part of the agenda for today, but, and John, I want to get your opinion on this. Lamar Jackson is supposed to be like one of the best QBs in the league. I'm starting to think that maybe he's just a good athlete versus a really good QB. What do you think?
I think he's a great athlete. I think he's a franchise player. But I think that there's better quarterbacks out there, like Derek Carr right now. I think Derek Carr is the quarterback for this year.
Save that conversation because we're going to get to that. But, John, what do you think? Lamar Jackson, is he holding up to what he should be doing? I don't know.
I think Lamar is fantastic. With regards to yesterday, honestly, with the Raiders, I feel like the bigger question is, yes, good win, but the bigger question is what's wrong with Baltimore?
Okay.
Why are they losing to the Raiders?
John, let's talk about the 49ers. Well, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the 49ers. My first question, guys, Brandon Ayuk, he showed up yesterday, right? He showed up.
He didn't show out, but he showed up.
Is there cause for concern when it comes to Brandon Ayuk, especially after all the contract
I
drama?
would say, not necessarily a concern, but he does need to get in football shape. I think that's his main thing is, that holding out and that training that you do on your own, it's not football shape.
How has Jordan Mason done in lieu of CMC?
I think he's done a good job as far as what he can do. He's not CMC, but he's holding his part of it down, so everybody else needs to, step their game up.
So I watched most games yesterday, John Court. I was really impressed with the Cardinals, so that brings me to my next question. Which team is the bigger surprise in the start of the season? Bucks, Saints, or Cardinals? What's your name? What do you think?
My name is Levi Moses, and I think the Saints are the biggest surprise because I didn't expect them to start off this good compared to last year. So, they're doing their thing.
I think, John and Court, what's interesting, I'm going to come back to you, though, the Derek Carr conversation, the Saints, and, of course, former Raiders QB. I mean, he's showing out.
Yeah, I think what happened with Derek Carr is he needed the same thing as Drew Brees did when he was in New Orleans. He needed 1 year to just learn the system. Once he learned the system, now we have like a second coming of Drew Brees.
Oh, wait a minute. You sparked something. Second coming of Drew Brees. What do you think?
Not at all.
Look at his face.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Brees is a veteran, and he worked his way up to a legend. And so I think there's no shortcuts to get to that level. You're going to have to put in the work. And so if you put in the work, you'll eventually get there. But it takes time. That's all.
Final thing, guys. We can't do a football segment and not talk about Taylor Swift. I had the fellas look at the outfit that she wore last night, yesterday. Oh, we could, but we're not going to, Cor. We're going to get these reactions. Let's start here. Let's show the picture first. Taylor Swift rocking a 1995 vintage T-shirt, okay? A vintage 1995 KC T-shirt. Had a little thigh-high boot action going on. You see this, no matter if you love her or hate her. What do you think about the outfit?
It was cool. It was cool. It was all right. It was all right. Yeah, I think it was cool.
All right, who else wants to comment on this outfit? I know you want to. What do you think about Taylor Swift's outfit yesterday?
I mean, it was all right. Same thing. I don't really try to pay attention. I'm watching football for football. You know what I mean?
You weren't going to talk, but can I at least ask you what you thought about her outfit last night?
No comment.
Oh, she says no comment. She says no comment.
Yeah.
All right, guys, in the cut. Who do you guys have this week, or tonight, I should say?
I'm going to go with Philadelphia. Yeah, we're going with
That
Philly.
is your team.
Yeah, that's my team.
All right, that's your team. So next week, we'll have to have that conversation with you. All right, guys, in the cut. Back on over to you. No, we're going to go to the commercial break, but I'm going to hang out right here. This is way too much fun. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we're about to cut. Let's cut out.
Cut.